In this brief video tutorial, I would like to cover the ways in which you can use the Cengage bundle that you have purchased. So we're going to click here as an example. This is chapter 20 homework, and it will at some point soon bring us, there we go. Very slowly to the Cengage site. I'm actually just going to pause this while it loads. Now, when you click on one of those assignments for the very first time, it will bring you to a screen that will prompt you to enter your access code. If you have not yet purchased your access code, that's okay. You will get a brief free trial, which will allow you to go in and at least complete some initial work. But please make sure to get your access code so that you can continue to work on the material. So I'm going to just for a minute start over here with the study tools, because before you dive into the homework, you're going to want to read the chapter. So here is the ebook, and I'm just going to click on a random chapter. We'll do chapter 7 just for sport, and I'm going to widen this screen here. There are resources here that are in the right margin, so we're going to just click on, again, this somewhat random chapter. Now, you can certainly read this as you would any other book. You can also print out little snippets of it. I certainly don't intend for you to print the entire book, and I'll show you what your alternatives are if you want a paper book shortly. But there are some advantages to using the ebook. You can, for example, here, highlight just as you would. We'll highlight that yellow, and we will add a little note. Hi. Now note that ordinarily I would do something of greater substance if I were annotating as I was reading, but it creates a little sticky note next to this so that you can easily find your way back to the notes that you've made. If you see here this little face up here in the corner, it will also okay, and so if you don't like that voice, we've got male Australian. Let's perhaps we'll do female United States, and you can speed it up if you find that unpleasant. So again, while not perfect, it at least will give you some assistance if you have difficulty reading the material, or sometimes just difficulty maintaining your attention. Having the text highlighted as you read can help to maintain focus while you're reading. So let's see. If we go up here to the notes section, and you click on your highlights, and these are things that I have done for other classes and other videos, but you'll see here is my hi that I made just a minute ago on the making deposits section. And it also has the area that I highlighted right next to the note that I made. If I decide that I'm going to go through, and you can do these by chapter, you can, this is something I did in chapter 1, so you can collapse these as you want to kind of clean up your screen. You can delete them if you don't like them. But let's say you are reading this and you say to yourself, well, I want to go back and I want to review this section because this isn't particularly clear to me. This little arrow here, and it shows even the date, will take you right back. If we had gone on in the reading and we wanted to come back to that, this little arrow here will take you exactly back to the point that you were when you made the note. So then now you can go back and reread that section. You can also make flashcards. And they can be organized by chapter. Now, I had mentioned earlier the options if you want something in paper. Over here in the left-hand column, you will see something called rental options. With the subscription that you purchased, for the cost of shipping and handling, which I believe is about $7.99, they will rent you a regular hardcover version of this textbook that you can use for the entire semester. If you have a longer subscription, you may be able to get it longer, but I don't know why you would. But anyway, you would want a book for more than a semester if you're not going to actually own it. But that's just some of the advantages with using the ebook. I'm going to jump back over. I had the ebook opened up in a separate tab, so I just clicked over onto the tab to get us back into the Cengage site and review a little bit about homework and how that gets submitted and some of the resources available with your book. So I'm just going to pick on a random assignment here and preview it as a student. And we will start assignment now. So this is just a random assignment I've opened up. Now you, let's say, get to this point and you think, gosh, I'm not real clear on this topic. I really could use some review. You have a couple of options on this. You have the ebook link, which will take you to exactly the point in the textbook where this concept is covered so that you can reread this concept. You also have something up here called Show Me How. And so what that does is it takes you to a brief video tutorial that also covers this topic area. So this is just some extra opportunity to give you some extra help. At the very bottom of each page, you will see this Check My Work button. This is an opportunity. This can either be a great resource or it can be your worst enemy. And when I say your worst enemy, there are times when students become so reliant on this that really they're not learning the material. They're just hitting the check my work in hopes of getting a good grade. The problem results when you go to take the exam and there is no check my work feature. If you haven't really spent the time to actually learn the material and are just trying to get a good grade on your homework, that will become apparent. So you can, and I'm looking for something in particular, perhaps with a drop-down menu, but the assignment I clicked on may not have one. But sometimes you will get homework problems that have drop-downs on them. All of these are fill in the blank, but you might have 4 or 5 potential choices that you can fill in. And I have had, and I can tell because based on the number of check my works, I know who's using this as a supportive feature and who's using it as a crutch to get perfect homework grades. Theoretically, you could, by trial and error, use every one of the choices in the drop down and hit check my work, and eventually, yes, you will hit on the correct one. That will not help you, however, when you get to the fill in the blanks, and it will not necessarily teach you anything. So by using the check my work feature just to boost your homework grade, again, it is likely to come back to haunt you. On the other hand, I don't limit the amount of time my students can use that because I know that when students are working at home on things, it's really important for them. In most instances, they tell me to know whether or not they're on the right track and doing well rather than plowing lots of time and finding out that perhaps they've run down a blind alley and don't really know what they're doing. So it's a way to know whether or not you're on track, and it also gives you the ability to submit 100% perfect homework, to continue to rework the problems until you find the answers that will give you a green check as opposed to a red X. Once you do, and I had to just expand this a little bit so that you could see. You may save and exit these problems as many times as you want, but once you are finished and you are ready to have that graded, you can submit assignment for grading. Once you do that, though, that's it. There's no opportunity to go back and fix anything. So make sure that when you are hitting the submit that you really truly intend to submit it, and that you've done what you feel is the best you can do. And that's really it in terms of the overview for the Cengage ebook and homework site.